We are live. I almost started joking before it even started. That has to be a good sign, right? Joking before you're live has to be a solid sign. It says I'm live. I'm trying to find it. There it is. Beautiful. So I can go down on that. Perfect. I want to share it to make sure people are getting it. Make live, virtual, young family. How's everybody? I was second slate. Heard about it. How's everybody feeling today? That one will be good. There we go. Ready to rock. All righty. I have a special guest with me today. I'm not going to butcher anything about them, but some of you will be surprised. Some of you will not be surprised. Some of you will be surprised and then be like, oh, but I know them, and that's great. I love it. What's up, Jim? What's up, Sierra? I love seeing people pop in. I don't know why you're watching it on, because I see you on here, but also I see your guys' comments in the comment sections. I appreciate it. Jim dropping blue and green hearts. Appreciate it, Sierra. The beach scene. Yes, that's like in your mind what Nashville looks like next month. I'll play like that's what it means. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys jumping in. Please share this with your people. This is one of the I'm excited about every speaker that touches the MML stage, but because the value that this person drops, I was super excited when they agreed to come back. So that's a little hint. They are a repeat. Julie is dropping the blue and green. Appreciate you. 30 degrees. I mean, that's better than negative 18. Margaret dropping, hey, blue and green hearts. Appreciate you. All right. So we're not going to take too much time, but I want to get this guy out here so he can talk to you more and we can talk through some things, and you guys get excited again to see him again, or excited to see him for the first time, because he will be speaking at Moonmaker Live. And I'm like I have high energy today because I saw some of you amazing souls speak today already. So you guys have been really pouring into me and inspiring me and transforming me today. So I appreciate it. And I know that this gentleman is going to do the same. What's up, Julie? Dropping the blue and green. Doug dropping the blue and green. Javier dropping the blue and green. Appreciate you guys. You know the key to my heart. Dropping the blue and green. We're like the Care Bears now. And Julie, I loved your presentation today. It was all heart. I appreciate that. I'm about to speak at 4. Nice. So without further ado, let me get this gentleman out here. See if you guys are excited, or maybe you guessed who it was. But the next speaker to be announced, which I would love to do this with all the speakers to be announced actually, but and the ones that were announced, the speaker I'm going to drop for you today is none other than, there he is, Mr. Chaz Wilson.
What's up?
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Good to be with you. Good to be with everybody here.
Heck yeah, good to be with you too, man. More people, now that they see you here, more people will say something, because with me, they're like,
oh, that's
nah.
I don't know.
It's the beard. Still, I still get told today one of the funniest jokes I've ever said, which I wasn't even thinking was a joke, was when I was like, Chaz looks like Chaz with good decisions, and I look like Chaz with bad decisions. And still people tell me like that joke.
That's a great joke, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I was like, no, I was honest.
Yeah, I didn't know if I should be insulted or if that was, no, I'm just kidding.
I was like, if anyone should be insulted. No. But Chaz, tell everybody a little bit about you, for the ones that don't know, that lived under a rock, whatever. Tell everybody a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, who you are, what you are.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Just again, honored to be with everybody. I'm so looking forward to this event. I love being with everybody there too. Just going to say, and I know, Michael, you know this, but like every year, this event is on the back end of my spring break with my kids. And I plan to leave the weekend earlier so I can be with them and then come be with you guys. So I'm excited to be there. Yeah. So, I mean, look, I'm a pretty simple, basic guy. And, but a couple of things that are about me. My wife and I'll be married 25 years this year. So it's like crazy. Yeah. Awesome. She's my best friend. 25 years. And we have 5 children, and those are the most important things to me. Besides that, I teach youth and counsel youth to help them grow. But then I have 3, actually now a 4th company, because it's like, why not? I have 5 kids. Why not? Maybe I'll get to 5, but I have 4 businesses that we run and operate that are all doing really, really well. So And just kind of exciting. I just approved the book cover for my third book that's going to be published here in about 120 days. So it's been a 5-year project called The Impact Effect. And yeah, I'll probably talk a little bit about that at Movement Maker Live.
Dude, that's awesome. I almost was going to ruin that and say it, but I was like, I don't know if he wants it said or not.
All
so
good, man. It's all good. Yeah.
All right. So I was like, I'm not going to butcher this. If he wants to release it, he'll release it. I'm not going to release it for him.
Yeah.
Because the last thing I want you to do is be like, bro, why every time I talk, you do something that's like just weird?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like leave a story on a cliffhanger about us arguing over the Dream 100, then not tell the part about us coming together and agreeing on it.
It's all good. It's all good, man.
It's my way, man. It's a weird way, but it's a way nonetheless.
No, well, I heard about it after I'd left that you wrapped that up. You
I did.
I that full circle. So it's all good.
I did bring it back. Because I said I would. So I was like, hold on, I don't want to leave this where people are like, dude, that's like not gonna work. Dude, one thing I want to talk to you about, because I know one, you speak at multiple events and you host yours, right? So what is like the power of the room to you? What do you think the power of the room, how your take on it? Because I'm very passionate about it. So I like to hear other people's takes so I don't feel like I'm insane and think it's one way.
Yeah. I mean, look, first off, I always plan to attend 4 to 5 events myself as an attendee. Yeah, I speak at a lot of events. Many of them, if I can, I try to. I can't say all the time because even like at yours, I had something and I couldn't stay the whole time. I was at Movement Maker Live almost the whole time last year too, and that's important to me. I love being in the room. You literally have no idea that you could be one relationship away from changing your future that's sitting in that room. And I just think that being in the room where things happen is something that I have done for 20 years. I have been to hundreds of events. I sit down at the beginning of the year and say, what are the events I'm going to go to this year? Many are repeats. I mean, there's some events I've been to for 10 years in a row. And then I typically try to find 1 or 2 new events a year, at least, that I can attend. And so it's hard for me because it's just something I do. It's like who I am, is to be at these events. There's just a proximity that comes with being around people and like-minded. I mean, we get beat up every day in the world as like an entrepreneur or business owner. And so to be around other people that get it and people that, people who get it and can support you and lift you up and call you up is important. And so anyway, I think it's one of those things. First off, if you don't have a ticket, you should get one and be there, because just, the biggest thing standing in front of you and your dream is delay. It's not a mindset. It's just delay. Speed of implementation is the key. I'll make mistakes 4 times before lunch, before most take an action step. And I'm okay with that, first off. But so if you're thinking about it, quit thinking about it. Take time out of the equation and just do it and be there and come to the event and let's hang out. That was a long answer to your short question, but
no, I love it. I was like, keep going. You're like building me up. 100%. One, I think the connections alone, the people you're going to meet in the room and get to know in the room. I remember we knew of each other and saw each other at speaking at some events, but then we ran into each other at an event we were both attending. And that kind of sprang our relationship even further and got to know each other even better. All right. And then what I love, and I already said this before when we were off air, I love seeing that there are master networks people. That's one of your things, and people that go to Connect, and then people that go to Movement Maker Live, and they're part of Unleashed. Because those are the people that they're willing, they're jumping into things, they're taking action and moving forward. And like you said, delay kills, stagnation kills.
Yeah, what's interesting too, as you said it, because I know a lot of people that come to the event, they want to be speakers too. They want to be on stages, and some of them will be, and that's awesome. But one of the things that my mentor said to me, who helped me with the book, unfortunately he passed away, but one of the things he said to me, and I've told this story, I think I told it last year, was, he said, you're going to have to be a speaker if you want to start a movement that you're talking about. And I was like, oh man, that's not what I want to do. I'm introvert. I don't want to do it. But here's what happened is I got in the room where things happen. Like I said, I got to these events, and there was always 2 things that came up in my mind. Is I was listening to the conversation with speakers and then conversations I'd have in the hallway of the thing they were teaching me. And then I would go implement it. a lot of times people would go out and they'd hang out afterwards. I went back to my room, made the action plan, did the thing, started like, I was just kind of the weirdo that just didn't go hang out and do all that stuff. I'm not saying you should do that, but that's where I was. I was like, I'm going to go put this to action now. The second conversation I was listening to, because I wanted to be a speaker, was I would watch the people on stage, those that I was like, well, don't do that. And then the ones who were like amazing. And I'm like, so I'm listening to what they're teaching and going, I love the way they delivered that. I love how they tell that story. I love that. So if you're here and you're like, I'm going to the event, I'm not speaking, and maybe I want to be on stage someday, well, then go there and watch how phenomenal speakers learn to communicate, learn how to tell story, learn how to get their message across, because that's also another benefit of being in the room.
Hey, yeah, and the power of that. I mean, one, we saw it with Bobby Jones itself. Bobby Jones came to you and was like, I want to be on your stage. All right. And how I met Bobby Jones was he was like, I want to get on more stages.
Yeah.
And it was like, you got to start telling your story. Like, you got to start getting around speakers, learning how to be one, and then crafting your story around that, around the presentation model. And now he's excellent. He's one of the, he's becoming a great
phenomenal.
Speaker. Yeah.
And I don't know if he's shared the story. I think I'm telling it like with permission. If not, I'll ask for forgiveness
100%.
later. But I think he's told it publicly. Is the first time he came to me, he's like, I really want to be on your stage and I want to speak. And listen, the thing about Bobby that I noticed was I knew he genuinely wanted to be on that stage, and not just because someone wanted the attention to be on the stage, right? He really wanted to be on the stage and felt he had an important message. And because I honored and respected him, I also said, I don't think you're ready just yet. So here's what I would need you to go do, so that when you get that opportunity and it's your time to shine, that one opportunity, that one chance, that when you have it, I want you to kill it. And to his credit, he went and put in the work. And then when he got on stage, he killed it. Right. So it's like sometimes when you have great mentors in your life, people like you who can say and speak truth to you, to say, okay, I really want you to be there. And I mean it. You're just not ready yet. Because when you get up on stage, I want you to be ready so that more people will resonate with your message and you'll be invited back or to other stages.
100%. When you speak, when you're on stage and you do your craft, you do your thing.
Yeah.
You're going to get other opportunities because of it. And if you do that too early, you'll lose opportunities because of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And one of the first things I tell everyone that says, I want to be a speaker, I'm like, you should attend the events you want to speak at.
So true.
Right. Because they're up there for a reason and the host knows it.
Uh-huh.
Right. And the host and the event planner, they're going to be the ones that make the final decision and pick you.
Uh-huh.
And one, they want to know, what you're talking about and you know what they want and what they're trying to get across, and that you're willing to do the work yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's nothing worse, as you know, as an event host, there's nothing worse putting someone on stage that came from someone else's relationship with someone else that you're like, oh yeah, bet. And then you do it and you're like, this stinks, right? Like this stuff.
And I don't know if this is the topic you want to talk about, but it's what we're on. But like, my mentor used to say to me too, and I'd watch him say this to other people. People come up and say, hey, I want to be a great speaker. And he would say to them, what have you earned the right to speak about? It was like, wow, that's piercing. Like, what's the thing? And so, but it challenged me to always be like, okay, number one, I could be a great speaker, but what have I earned the right to speak about? That people should listen to what I have. Just because I want to get on stage and I want to say something doesn't mean I've earned the right to be there. So first and foremost, earn the right to be on stage. Number two, earn the right of the event host to be on stage. And keep working on your craft, because great speakers make it look easy. That's the thing. When you see a great speaker, you're like, wow, I could do that. Just maybe any craft, by the way, any craft, step back and say, yeah, do I know how to do that? Can I do that? What could I learn from this person? Because that's the thing. I've learned so many things by sharing the stage with amazing speakers. I don't know if you've had that experience, Michael, but there's been times I've been backstage prepping to speak or whatever, and I'm behind somebody, I'm coming up after somebody, and then all of a sudden I have panic because I'm like, dang, they were really good, and now I got to follow that person. But it challenges you to be better. So it's such a great opportunity.
Heck yeah. I normally will even give them credit when I'm out there. It's like, all right, this was a horrible idea to have me right now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like typically, I couldn't be behind the guy that used his phone the whole time like this. Like I couldn't be behind the guy that couldn't use the mic. Like
exactly.
We had to put me behind the guy that's really good. The first time we had a conference, it was not very well put together by me. We had it in Delaware, where, as you saw when you came here, like you can't even fly to the state. Right. Like, it's like we had to send cars to other states to get you. Right. Yeah, yeah. So it wasn't well thought of. I also it was at this theater, but I did not know there's 3 of them in the state. and
Oh,
I didn't know the address or the city or which one. So I had people at other ones in the state of
oh boy.
Delaware.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was a great time. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
It was very good lessons, constantly nice lessons. And it was when doing this, we were in the room and I was trying to make the schedule, and Trent was there that year as well. It was 2019. Trent was there.
Mhm.
And I put me between him and there was a woman, Rachel, at work that ran Spark and the West Coast. And then there was me. And I was like, when I started, I was like, why'd I do this? Like
Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna be the worst person in the evening session. Like, this is horrible. Like, all I did was show them.
And I'm the one that put myself there. Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I did this. I did this myself. I want to say what's up to Jordan. He said hello. Don said hello. Tim actually said hello. Jennifer
Oh, what's up,
Bennett said,
Tim?
right. And James Muller said, I want to be in the room where it happens. I think that was Hamilton. And I think I know that because
Yes, it
Javier
was.
says that 4 million times to me
Yeah.
because he loves that show. And it is a good musical.
Yes.
But when you do get in the room, you learn so much about your how to craft. Everyone has a story.
Yeah.
And I love that when people are like, I have a story. And I'm like, you do. I know you do.
Yeah.
But how you craft your story is going to be what impact the other people get. And when you speak, it is never about you.
Mm-mm.
It is always about the people in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, Myron Golden talks about that in his 4 levels of value. The second highest level is communication. And when you can be, the value you can bring to the room is when you can really be a great communicator, which translates to anybody that's in business. If you can't communicate your message, if you can't communicate the value that people have, you're going to struggle. So it's a skill that I think every entrepreneur and business leader needs to develop.
Facts, 100%. I typically say the biggest problem we have is communication problem. Because something is not being understood, then it's a communication problem. Right.
Yeah.
So if you could take the complex and make it simple, you have mastered it. And that's why it looks easy when someone does it, is because they have mastered it.
Yep.
Now you got to go take the time and do all the mastery. That sucks. But yeah, that's the only way to get it. It's not going to be a YouTube video and you're in. So let me ask you another question. I want to keep this moving, right?
You're good.
You're coming, you're going to speak again, but it's not, you don't do the same presentation everywhere, thank God. And so what will, little credit for you. What will the attendees get for being in the room and hearing you speak again, but differently?
Yeah. So it's first off, I'm really excited, and I'll just tell you just a little bit, if I can, about my process. So I'm like looking at all the notes or the comments that are coming through, and I'm thinking about some of the people I know here on the comments, and I'm thinking about them and where they're at. And so I just take a really thoughtful and prayerful approach to how I speak and just who I am and how I do it. And I really try to listen to that intuition as it comes in to me before I get on stage. So I'm always speaking for the people that are there to help them where it's at. But I will just say this, that right now, I spent last 5 years developing and teaching this stuff on this book, The Impact Effect, which is, again, about to be published. There's four things about this. There's the spirit of the game, or the spirit of impact. I'm sorry, the spirit of impact, which is the people who feel called to do something, called to be in the entrepreneurial realm, like you, like me, like those on here. And then there's the game of impact, the point of impact, and the path of impact. And what I'm going to do is help people understand that the game they're playing, most of us do not understand. Oh, what's up, Matthew? That's awesome. Matthew was great, by the way. Last time I saw him, he's a phenomenal speaker. That's a guy I learned a lot from, not just his message, but also the way he spoke was really powerful. But here's the thing that for all of us to understand in business. If you don't understand the game you're playing, if you don't actually understand the game you're playing, then you don't understand who's your competitor, what the rules are, how to keep score, and how to win. And unfortunately, I see business owners, I think you do too right now, as I travel the country and with entrepreneurs. I was in Missouri a couple of weeks ago. I was in Florida. I've been all over the country. Here's the thing I'm seeing right now. It's really kind of concerns me, is that most entrepreneurs don't really know the game that they're in. They're like, no, I know it. I'm a chiropractor. I'm a realtor. That's not the game. That's the fulfillment side, but you don't know the game. And so one of the things I want to help people really understand is the game. And most of them think it's productivity, but here's the problem. Your productivity can take you to a level that your personal development cannot sustain you at. And so I want to help people really understand that and help them raise their standards to understand who they have to become, so that as their productivity leads, they're not going to self-sabotage. They're not going to hit a ceiling. They're going to be able to figure that out. So, which is really what I've been spending the last 5 years interviewing and developing and writing about. So that was a long answer again, man. I'm 2 for 2 in long answers.
Doing good. It's because it's great questions. No, I'm
Yes,
just going
that's right.
to take all the credit. I
That's
should do
it.
this for a career. I should just interview people. I think I'm there. Also, something that's like what you talked about. What I see huge in people doing is where they spend their energy and where they're productive is building things that their mind won't get out of their way, so they won't even launch or run with it or really put it out there or really give it opportunity to seed or give people opportunity to buy or impact people and serve them or add value. I hate that term now because so many people use it, but like that actually give implementation that people then can change whatever the area it is they were trying to change, where they know if they take these steps, it leads to this thing, right? And it's so like you said, it's that personal part of the mindset to get them to where even they can use the productivity to benefit anyone and themselves.
Yeah, most of us aren't afraid to start. We're just afraid to be seen small. Like, right? We don't want to be seen as this thing that's just starting or seen small in our, but everybody starts. Every great business person, everybody started. Everybody you see on stage, anyone you aspire to be like, they started somewhere and they were small. I mean, I don't know about you, but I love seeing some of the old school videos of Tony Robbins, like at his first couple of events. It's pretty funny to like look back and be like, that's the guy. Yeah. Like, so you think about, was I ever in a room with somebody that could be that, but I saw them then, right? And if you knew what he was today versus back then, would you have given the same attention to his message, to the same respect that he, commands now? Well, it's just an interesting thing for all of us to think about. We all have to start somewhere. And I think right now, the way the world is, there's an apathy in business that I'm seeing. There's an apathy in delivery and there's an apathy in fulfillment. And I think the opportunity to stand out is big right now.
100%. I like, yeah, right. Like that, the commercial king in the 90s. I remember, I think he sold me real estate once. Or timeshare. No, but you're right. It's like we all start somewhere. Jared J. White said this once. It's like, and after he said it, it was like probably the best thing he ever said. And it was like, are you willing to suck so then you can continue going to suck less?
Yeah.
Right. To eventually one day be good, to have the chance to get great.
Yeah.
Like, but we can't avoid that first part.
Well, it's like the question, I'll do whatever it takes to be successful. Just don't ask me to do blank, because it's just not me. I mean, Rob, probably whatever you fill the blank in is what you actually need to do to move past it, right? For me, it was a long time was be a speaker. Then for a long time it was hire people, like, because I met a capacity ceiling, right? At some point I'm like, capacity. So at every stages of the game, knowing the game that I'm in, at every stage of this game, there's a new thing I have to break through. There's a new thing that says, I'll do whatever it takes to be successful. Just don't ask me to do this. Oh crap. That's the thing I need to do.
100% facts. And it's typically the thing we're the most uncomfortable doing is what we have to do, or giving up something that we're really good at.
Yep.
All right. It's like, there's things, that's what I'm facing right now, is that I have to give up things I'm good at and that I enjoy in order for this to move forward in a rate to impact the people we're meant to.
It's interesting, Michael, you say that. I was just interviewed this morning on a different, on a podcast. And one of the things they asked me about in the point of impact piece that I'm talking about, it said, when you work on your personal development, what's the one thing, as if it's one only, but what's the one thing that you would help you be a better from the personal development side? What's the one thing you need to do? And I said, that's not even the right question. The question in my mind is what Dr. Hardy talked about, which is, what do I need to stop doing? What do I need to let go of? What's the thing that's holding me back? How do I raise the standard by saying, I'm no longer going to do this?
That's good. Sometimes it's addition by subtraction.
By the way, you want a really good exercise to figure that out, especially if you have team members. Yeah. We just did this in an exercise in our annual plan. It's really hard to do, but it's really telling. Is you don't answer the question. You let everyone on your team answer the questions. And the question is this: what should Michael no longer be doing that's hurting him more than he knows?
Ooh.
And then your team answers it. And then you do that for each person. That's very eye-opening. And we did that as a team. And the things they said, Chaz, I know you love to do this. This is something you love, but it's actually hurting you more than you know. And here's why: because it's taking time for you to do this thing over here that's a lot more productive. You get more energy from you. And I was like, wow, guys, you're really spot on.
True. That's tough. I'm going to send that
Yeah.
out today.
Yeah.
If any feedback I get, I'm just going to blame you. I mean,
I get that all the time. It's good.
All right. Now, another question for you. And
Yes,
I love talking this. I love it. I really want to ask you this question because there's a big piece that you do that I absolutely love. And it's a big piece for me uh, in not just in our business, but also the way we want it. All right. Community is a big aspect
Mhm.
in your world. I see in your life.
Yeah.
Right. I know you've been involved in coaching numerous sports with your kids. I know you've been involved in your kids' life. I know you've been involved in your community's life. I know you've been involved in your religious community as well. Right.
Yep.
Like, so you show it, you do it in your life and you do it in your business through multiple chapters of master networks in multiple states that I know of alone. All right.
Yep.
So I love community. I think community is super important. And I
Yeah.
can tell, I think in your life, you believe it is too.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So tell me about the power community and why you believe in it so much and why you have it as part of your life and business.
There's lots of reasons, but I'm going to give you one just to think about as a business owner. When you build community, it's one of the most insulating things you can do for your business. Because when you build community, you build sort of like, I always look at it, the visual. I didn't know how to explain it. And I'm actually going to say it this way. I heard somebody say this at a conference years ago, really big conference in Las Vegas I was at. It was like 10,000 people. And I heard somebody on stage literally draw it out on a whiteboard. And I thought, wow, that's a great visual for how I envision this. I just didn't know how to say it. Here's the thing, Michael. I think for all of us, one of the reasons we build community is because if you were the person in the middle and then you had this like circle around you of people, they insulate you from the arrows of people that want the bad reviews online or a past employee that doesn't like you anymore, you had to get rid of, or a past customer that doesn't like you. They're this insulating piece around you. That's one reason, one of probably 10 I could give you. But for a business owner, I think the way the world we live in right now, if you don't have a community, if you don't have that insulating barrier around you, that can help you and support you, not just help you grow, but insulating you. Yeah, your tribe actually. Let's go. Part of the communities. Insulation. I just think it's something that most people don't think about. But as you grow and scale, I promise you, as you get bigger and more people know you, you're going to have people who don't like you. I always know that when I walk on a stage, 30% of the room doesn't like me, no matter what I say out of my mouth. That's just the way that it is. But you know what? The 70% of the room that do, they'll quiet the 30%. Does that make sense? They'll just
100%.
translate that out to the marketplace.
Right. 100%. Okay.
And can I give you one other quick reason?
Yes.
I'm not going to go too deep on this. I'll just use the word. It's fulfillment. Having a community is fulfilling. Okay. So at a certain stage of productivity, and maybe in the beginning you don't see it, but at a certain stage, you giving back and supporting others is more fulfilling than the thing you can get for yourself.
Right. 100%. I mean, we talk about the 6 human needs, right?
Yep.
We hit 2 of them in that one thing alone, right?
Yep.
Where you can find the majority of those is something that's normally going to be good for your soul. Right. And also connection. The cornerstone of human existence is connection. We want to connect to things. We want to belong.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
And community, you can feel connected to it. There's communities that I have outgrown some of their tactics or strategies, per se, or they don't align with me. I won't say outgrown. They don't align with how I move now or operate.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm still with them. I didn't leave because I'm connected to them.
Yep.
Right. They didn't sever the connection, even though I operate differently.
Yeah.
Right. And I always say those are the best communities when I can operate differently, but still be like, we're together. We got you. We're here. Right. It makes you feel good and confident because that connection piece will be there no matter what.
Well, and as a business owner, if you don't have a community to connect with and connect to, it's really lonely.
100%.
And so if you don't have one, if you're watching this and you don't have one, or you will need to solidify the roots, I always say, people are like, how do I know what community to join? And I always say, look at the fruits and look at the roots, like who's in it and what do they produce? And so if you're needing it, then you should come to Movement Maker Live, because that's where you can join and be part of a community. So
love that. Good plug. It's better when it comes from you than me. No. Also, you said numerous things that's in my first presentation at Moonmaker Live. So now everyone's going to be like, dude, just copy Chaz's comments because he knows he was speaking before him. And maybe we'll never know. But but I'm still saying. When you find community, when you find somewhere like that sees you, and people, I've been diving really deep into this because I think because we're trying to be more accepting in the world, right? That we used the phrase "I love you" when we mean I conditionally accept you.
Right? Interesting. Yeah.
Right. It's like conditional acceptance versus unconditional love.
Yes.
Right. And I think in a lot of communities they're going that route, but it means we conditionally accept you. But if you put a red heart somewhere, I promise we'll kick you right out. It's got to be a blue and green heart or it's no heart, right? Yeah. Like then it would be right. Like that was a lame attempt to show conditional acceptance. But when people truly accept you, because we are human, we're going to err. We're not going to do everything perfect. We're not going to agree on everything. So I was like, I tell everyone in politics, don't talk to me about politics because no one's going to agree with me.
Yeah, right. Right.
It's like, and I'm okay with that, right? Yeah. So it's like, let's not talk about this because we're not going to agree. And sometimes when we talk politics, we want acceptance and we want to accept you for your position where you fall.
Thus, right? They're trying to make a community out of it. Yeah.
Right. Of this one belief, right?
Yes,
and I'm like, sometimes the power of community, and I see it a lot in yours as well. The diversity makes community more powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And there's something that I'm going to talk about. I'm happy to share it now, or wait in the suspense, but I'm going to tell you that I see. So the unfortunately, just like all marketing tactics, people now use the word community and they're destroying what that term means. And then people inside of communities are doing something to destroy their own value of them being in a community. And it's something I see. I just was in Missouri with Ashley, who's on here, and her team. And I mentioned this, and I got like, I could feel the tension a bit in the room, but she told me afterwards that even people in the bathroom are like, whoa, that hit hard. And it's true. And I'm just going to speak the truth on it. But there's some things that some of y'all are doing in community that you really don't understand the message you're sharing. And you would never do that in any other relationship and think it's going to work.
Got me excited now. Now I want to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
But
it's true though. You when you hear it, you're like, "Whoa, yep."
Well, then right. And there's numerous times with Bobby J.
There he is.
There's times he was like, "Make sure he sees me." No, okay. He didn't say that.
I see you.
But dude, there's times where I got checked, and I need you. Like, there's 3 things I say I want from the people around me. All right, lift me up because sometimes I'm going to fall. Build me up because sometimes I'm going to need that. But also check me to keep me up.
Yep.
Right, because I'm human. I'm going to need to get checked sometimes. Because sometimes my ego, my pride, my things get in the way of some things, or make me blind. I have blind spots, right? Like literally, I'm going blind. I feel like, but sometimes I get checked where like I'll put a message out and someone's like, this might read, plus I don't do grammar, right? That you could tell by that sentence I failed 3rd grade, right? I don't do grammar. And I don't know why when I say that, I feel like I got to put a Southern accent to it.
Yeah.
Very judgmental. I got to dig deep into why that happened. But I'll say things because we are looked at as people that are part of communities and we lead, at least at times, the community, right? When I say something, I almost have to be extremely clear, like, this is not the community stance.
Yeah.
This is just my take on this subject matter at this moment.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes I need to get checked with that sometimes, because sometimes I come out heavy and everybody's like, whoa, like, that's not the Unleash You Now stance. And I'm like, correct.
So I'm going to lean into that just for a second. And because I think people are asking for, like, give me the example. I won't go in depth, but here's the high level overview of it. Okay. I mentioned at the beginning that my wife and I in May will be married 25 years. Oh yeah, she said I heard it live. It's definitely good. So I'm just going to touch on. I'm just going to like. I used to have a mentor that said, "Don't lather them up if you're not going to shave them down." It was like her whole thing was like, "Don't get them excited and then walk away." Like, okay, but I'm going to kind of do that because I want you to be in the room. But I'm going to give you the teaser of this, okay? But I'll just take the most significant relationship in my life right now, above my savior to me, but that's my wife, okay? I'm married 25 years. I've known her for 28, okay? My best friend. The reason that relationship, one of the reasons that relationship works. Now, again, I'm going to divide probably your virtual room here as soon as I say this, but you're just going to hang with me. It's the truth. But one of the reasons that relationship works is because I'm monogamous. I'm not promiscuous. And so many people in communities are promiscuous, meaning, and I don't mean in that way, but they hop from this community to that community to this community to that community. They go to this coaching program to that coaching program to this coaching program. They go to this mentor to that mentor to that. And guess what? They're all over the place. They're not monogamous in their messaging. They're not monogamous in who they listen to and how they get advice and where they go to. And all of a sudden they're constantly confused. They don't know where to place their value, who to place it with. And I just see it in community right now. That word is so loosely used that there's no relationship standards. My wife and I have standards. We have agreements with each other. We honor each other. Most people don't do that in their communities now. I'm seeing it's like community hopping all over the place, right? And it just drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. I literally stood at a Master Networks meeting one time years ago, and a guy stood up and said, "Hey, I'm in Master Networks, and I'm in this thing and that thing and this thing." And I'm quoting him. This is not my phrase. He said, "I'm like a networking whore." And I thought, you're proud to stand up and say that? And by the way, do you realize the message you're telling all of us in this room? That you actually don't value any of us because you're in every community left and right. So I'll go deeper on that, but I just want people to understand that when you join a community, you join a relationship, there's a certain unwritten set of agreements that need to be part of it.
I love that what you're saying, because like I always say, there's a code.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like written, but we know it.
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't know it, there's either ignorance that we need to work on and learn it, or you don't care to know it. And that's a problem too. But the most I've seen it now, I think, in history of being in this space or even in business, is people like, this is my way now. Now I'm on this model. Now I'm trying this model. And now I'm trying. And it's like, guys, the model is your model. How we address the things inside it, we can wire, rewire, change, move, pivot, right? Adapt, right?
Yep.
Technology adapts, we adapt, right? But the model, this thing is still this thing. As soon as you change that, you say that thing did not work. Right? And that's what you're telling the people paying and following you, trying to get the result.
So true. And here's the thing. Like, my commitment is to her. If I'm not committed, then every distracting, attractive woman that walks by me, I would be distracted and be over there, right? Or same with her. But no, we're committed to each other. And so there's a commitment level there. And so the thing that most people forget is when they hop from one community to the next, you know, the thing you take with you. And so nothing's changed. Like, that's why people who struggle in relationships are like, now I'm in this relationship, it's the shiny new thing, it's going to be better. No, you took you with you. Right. And unless you improved, you're still you with you. And so that's why I think is happening right now is that people are so much access to communities and mentors and things that people are confused and don't have a sense of commitment to any one thing. And so they now, because I always say clarity is your permission slip to go fast. They're unclear. They don't know where to move and how to move and what to do because they're hearing all of these different messaging. And so just be monogamous in your communities and your mentors and your coaching.
Yeah, that's good. Boy, you got me on that one. God, you made me cry. Chaz, I know you're under the time, man. And when you went 9 minutes over, I said we were going to go. So I want to respect your time and your day. And I want to leave something for people to be more excited about. And you definitely left me excited to hear you talk at Movement Maker Live. I can't wait to experience with it and be in the room with you again. Right. And definitely
honored to be invited, man. I didn't express that enough, but I appreciate the invitation.
Oh, always, bro. Always. Any room we got. And I will be at Connect as well. So I don't want to take all the shine here. Connect's a great event. Had a great experience with it last year. Coming again. I can't wait to see Bobby J do his thing, I guess. Better bring it down. But thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to experience Movie Maker Live with you and be in the room with you again. And everybody, if you liked what you heard or didn't, get in the room so you can hear it, either accept it, challenge it, whatever you like. Chaz likes a good challenge. So he wouldn't be in entrepreneurship, marriage 25 years, and author of multiple books if he did not like a good challenge. So, Chaz, thank you again, brother. I appreciate you. Any last words for anybody?
Just looking forward to meeting you. If you're watching, I do see some of you, and I'm kind of mentally taking some names, so I'll look forward to seeing you there and come up and say hello.
Heck yeah. You heard him. You know the deal. Long live the unleashed. Peace, love, and happiness. We're outie.